straight across. So I'll choose back foot. My arms on this side of the body, I can reach further. Why wouldn't I do that? Why would I step across here and take my arm away from the ball? This is fantastic because that's the direction we're hitting. So if you can step in the direction you're hitting and still get the right spacing on the ball, perfect. If anything here, 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 even here, I'm well out to here, and I've still got full body control, full capability, hitting off that back hip. Everything's pretty much set perfectly. 45 degrees front foot, front foot, front foot, front foot, front foot, front foot, front foot. Even here, hitting here, front foot, out here. Gary Peterson here today. I'm going to talk about your footwork when we start to learn. When we talk about footwork, a lot of people are taught to actually step across here and hit. And I do a movement where it's even just, it's like my warm-up movement. And that's because you do have to step across your body to move sometimes and so on. But if I have a choice, I'll go back foot, and we'll talk about that now. So if you have, from the center point, an arc, I will choose to go back foot at 90 degrees, straight across. So I'll choose back foot. My arms on this side of the body, I can reach further. Why wouldn't I do that? Why would I step across here and take my arm away from the ball and have to do all this big movement to then turn my body and then find myself falling over when I strike sometimes? Too much turn. You don't need that much body turn. Okay, so if we go and step, if we're hitting this way, if I said to you, I want you to step this way and hit that way, and you knew nothing about squash, you'd go, that's not very clever. It just doesn't make sense. If you talk about cricket, they obviously step down here and go out there, but if the ball goes out wide, they'll go back foot and go out there. They will go front foot sometimes and go out there, but they won't go across here and go generally that way. It just won't happen because it's not a logical direction to stance. It's not a structurally strong body position to be in, this movement across that way. Yep, 45 is pretty good because there that will go quite well. So 45 is about where we want to be. This is fantastic because that's the direction we're hitting. So if you can step in the direction you're hitting and still get the right spacing on the ball, perfect, fantastic, because then you get all that body drive goes into the ball as well, so it works really well. So we're going to go, okay, we don't want to step there. This is fantastic. Let's halve it. 45 degrees is what we're going to accept and say that's pretty cool. That's a good mix of this, step across the side, so it's pretty reasonable, and there it goes. Now the reason this is so good, as soon as I do that, it brings this hip into play, and this is where we hit off. So what happens is as soon as I do that, it pushes this hip away from the ball. And then I've got to go and turn and get that hip through the ball into here before I can hit. So now I'm wound up when I strike. So at point of impact, I'm really wound up. My whole body is sort of like all scrunched up and under stress and under work. If I step this way, at point of impact there, I'm just standing still. I'm just standing here. So comfortable, so easy. It's just not difficult at all. Hitting off this hip, it's released this hip. In cricket, once again, if they want to hit a big hit, they'll go bang step there to release that hip. So that hip can go through the ball because all the power and structure in their body comes from here. So that step there releases that hip. At 45, we can release that hip here, and that comes through quite neatly. And once again, at point of impact, you're about here, which is pretty good. So it's in a pretty good position, straight off here. So the step, so then we go to what happens back here. So you can't step back here and then try and hit here because then you don't have any options to hit cross court either. And once again, at point of impact, I'm wound up massively. It's like unbelievably wound up. It's just too difficult. The amount of effort to get back out of that shot is a lot. If I step back here, body's open, point of impact, I'm in full control. My body is open. I'm just standing here. It's just too simple. It's brought my hip in play, this hip here. It's brought it into play with the racket. So everything's in a perfect position to be able to strike. So that means that if I do anything here, 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 even here, I'm well out to here. And I've still got full body control, full capability, hitting off that back hip. Everything's pretty much set perfectly, okay? The biggest one for people to get over is to understand that that one there is so good, and it's simply because that hip comes into play and I'm there, and it's really hard to tell which direction I'm going to hit. Where am I going to hit? Am I going to hit cross court or am I going to hit down the wall? You don't know until I follow through, and then you might understand it a little bit more. I actually like to go even out to there. So remember I said 45? So I reckon, I believe, anything after 45 should be back foot. And that brings this arm, and you can reach further. You can reach further as well. So even just in there, which is slightly forward at about 20 degrees, somewhere there, back foot's really good once again, because that'll slide under the ball beautifully for a drive down the wall. Cross court really easily, have your whole court options open for you. So I quite like the back foot, and I even teach advanced players to go back foot in the front forehand corner, because that there, it just gets that hip and you can go off it, and it's really hard to read, and it's about deception as you get better. So if you start, and even if you don't believe in the back foot at the front corner, that's fine, there's no problems at all. But if you start by using your back foot everywhere here and even back foot at 90 degrees, straight across, you'll find you'll be stronger, you use less energy, you get better outcomes because your body's in a structurally better position when you strike the ball. Everything's pretty cool. So there's your footwork. Your footwork is pretty cool. And the way you cover that off is you use an adjustment. An adjustment if the ball's a little bit deeper. So you go, oh, I can't reach very far, it's no good. But if I just simply put that shuffle in, now I'm back here. So all of a sudden, I've just put that shuffle in and I've kept my body structure the same. I haven't had to do this. I haven't had to turn that hip away and then bring that hip back in. Yep. So what I've done is I've just gone with that shuffle there, and then it's back. There's no trouble at all. Okay. So if you have to, you can put double shuffles in. I've seen PSA players even do it. I'll do it from up here. So I've seen PSA players go shuffle, shuffle, and hit. And so that happens a bit as well. More so when you've got time, and when the ball comes wide off the side wall. So you might shuffle back there and you go, oh, it's wider, now it's back there. And so they'll put the double shuffle in sometimes. So the shuffle's really got a place, and it just stops that hip movement of all this when you run. If I run, that hip goes there, then I step here, that hip goes there. It just means, I know you can run forward and keep that way, but it doesn't prep your hips and keep everything. Everything's in line, everything's already prepped, everything's stable, everything's in the right spot, and that's how it all works. So there you go, back foot, back foot, back foot at 90, 45 degrees front foot, 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 even here, hitting here, front foot, out here. So all this area is the front foot area, all this area is the back foot area, and you're looking pretty good.